What's going on YouTube? So the Audi Q3 has quickly become one of Audi's best-selling models, thanks to its combination of style, tech, and value.
But the competition is heating up with an all-new BMW X1 out and an Acura ADX on the horizon.
So what's new for 2025 so that this model can continue to fight its rivals? Well, let's go ahead and find out. All right, so getting started here under the hood, we actually do have a change for 2025, and that's the fact that the standard output version of this engine has been discontinued. Now, every Q3 gets the more powerful 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 228 horsepower. That's going to be paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission with Quattro all-wheel drive, and our combined fuel economy is 23 mpg.
Now, the price doesn't rise too much. $39,000 is your base price. And if you're looking to buy one, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, of course, later on, we're going to test out that new, more powerful powertrain. That's standard. We're also going to be getting things like our sound level reading.
But let's go ahead and close up the hood because we've got some changes to talk about on the outside as well as the inside. So getting started here with our design, of course, up here in the front, you've got that signature Audi design. This continues to have your single frame grille, and we do have a full blackout finish on this model because we actually have a new package for 2025. It's called the Black Optic Plus package. This is going to be available on your Premium Plus trim level of this model. And of course, it is going to do the signature things such as black out the grille finish, black out the logos, and you'll see numerous other pieces of the vehicle blacked out as well. Now, in terms of our lighting up here in the front, of course, you have standard full LED headlights on board. Got the nice projector low beam right there. You got your daytime running light and turn signal indicator as well in that signature Audi shape. And then moving around to the back, the Q3 continues to have that, junior Audi SUV look.
Yeah, it really looks mostly the same as all the other products, which certainly is a good thing, especially if you're going to be on the cheaper end. We have a spoiler up top. We have a rear wiper. All of our logos are going to be blacked out because we have the Black Optic Plus package. And Drew went ahead and hopped inside so we can see if all the taillight elements are LED. That's another thing that I'm very happy with. Every single element is LED, including that dynamic turn signal, even here on the Q3. As we drop down to the lower fascia, it's going to be nice and aggressive, and we do have a little bit of a matte black trim, although we're not going to have exposed exhaust outlets.
Now moving on to the wheels, you do have some new options for 2025. We actually do have one of those new options. This is a 19-inch contrast alloy that comes in that Black Optic Plus package. Crucially though, if you want something a little bit bigger, you can also option further to get a 20-inch alloy wheel. Moving up here, we've got our S-Line branding, of course, nice gloss black finish to our mirrors, and with the Premium Plus grade, you get fully loaded mirrors. So that means you have heating, power folding, auto dimming on both the driver and the passenger side, as well as blind spot monitoring.
Now at the side, this vehicle comes in at 176.6 inches in length, which is a good amount for this segment. And if you're curious as to how it compares to, maybe some compact SUVs you might be familiar with, it's a few inches shorter than something like a RAV4. We're also going to have roof rails up here at the top. And then as far as your safety systems are concerned, I'm happy to tell you that Audi's giving you every single one of those as standard equipment. That's even going to include things like adaptive cruise control. But guys, there's a quite nice cabin on the inside, especially for the price. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then, we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. Now moving on to the interior, we'll first take a look at the key fob. Our Premium Plus does have the smart entry system. As you can see though, this is a kind of old style of the Audi key fob. They actually have not quite updated this to the newest thing, so it does have the switchblade key design. But getting inside is still nice and easy. You just reach behind the handle, that will unlock the door. Now, taking a look at the interior, of course, you've got all these nice Audi design elements kind of scaled down for Q3 duty. Before we get into any types of specific details, we'll talk about the seats. So since we have got the black optic package and that giving you the S-line things, you do have the sport seats on board. As you can see, nice aggressive bolsters. I like the overall stitching design as well. So the Black Optic Plus gives you this new red stitch design for 2025, which gives it a little pop of color even though it is black. You can also get gray, and the seats are real leather no matter which trim of the Q3 you choose. You also will get power adjustment no matter what, 8 ways with 4-way lumbar support. And your memory seats are located kind of hidden down here in the door trim. But let's go ahead and get inside. Now, even though this is Audi's most affordable SUV, you still have really nice materials in the cabin for the price point. So over here on the door trim, you've got a leatherette with that red stitching detail, more leatherette through the center section, and a soft touch plastic along the top part of the door trim. As we move to the upper dashboard, all of this is a soft touch plastic. We have a kind of interesting textured material through here. And then you'll notice right here in the center section, this is a new trim. It's a carbon twill trim. This is included with that Black Optic Plus package our model has. Down here on the lower parts, this is going to be hard touch, but everything feels super solid as you'd expect from a German vehicle. Let's fire it up with the standard push button start. Now, jumping into some individual details, we'll start as always with our gauge cluster. So one of the nice things about the Q3 is you still get that same virtual cockpit system that you have in the Q5, Q7, Q8, really the whole entire lineup. When you choose it optionally in the technology package, you get the upsized 12.3-inch version. Otherwise, you're going to get a smaller 10.25-inch version, and it has all the same features, including maps built right in. And as we pull back to the steering wheel, you're going to see a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. We've got the perforated leather with the S branding and the same red stitching that matches with the seats. The wheel itself is manual tilt and telescoping. Just be aware that steering wheel heating is not offered here on the Q3, and also neither is the head-up display. Now, let's take a look at interior storage. We'll open it up, and inside of our console here, we've got a few donuts. That's because we like to test the volume of the consoles, and in this case we can fit 4 donuts inside of this console. It's going to be small even for this segment, but that's pretty much expected. A lot of Audis have the small consoles. That being said, this console is low, so it has a pretty airy feel inside the cabin. You still have 2 cup holders, a place for your key fob, and then up here in the front you actually have a nicely sized console area, good for charging your phone wirelessly as well. Now, unlike the Audi A3, the entry-level sedan, we have a traditional shifter instead of the small electronic one in the Q3. That means you can just pull back for drive, bump over here to the right if you want to shift manually, and you have paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. When I pop it into reverse, as long as you choose the Premium Plus grade, that's going to give you this 360-degree camera system. And that's going to give you a few different views that you can choose between. This one does not support the 3D view, though. And then, of course, you have an electronic parking brake right behind that, and a little 12-volt outlet. Now, as we move on into this area, you'll notice that we have a physical knob for our audio system as well. So on today's model with the technology package, we have the up-level Sonos sound system, and let's go ahead and give that a sample. Nice. That's certainly a really good sounding sound system. Really fills up the cabin nicely as well. So if you're wondering if this is like really different from the traditional Bang & Olufsen that the other Audi models have, not really. This is still very good. All right, now zeroing in at our climate controls next. This is a dual zone automatic setup. It is standard equipment. Again, it's pretty refreshingly simple compared to many of the other Audi products, which have a lot of digital controls. And over here on the side, you'll also notice that we have 3-stage heated seats. This is going to be standard equipment, however, ventilated seats are not available. Now up above at the main infotainment system, we have the the enlarged 10.1-inch display. This is again a part of the tech package. Otherwise, you're going to get a little bit of a smaller 8-inch display. In terms of the actual software itself, it's Audi's MMI system. So you have things like the ability to set a custom theme in the background. You also have built-in maps, and it does have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Rising above here, we have an auto-dim mirror with 3 HomeLink universal remotes. And then lastly, you'll be happy to see that we've got a nice and large panoramic sunroof.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the rear seat area of the Q3. Now this is a space where some of the rivals certainly don't shine. However, in the Q3, I'm pretty darn impressed. We're sitting at about 36 inches of both leg and headroom, which are pretty good figures for this subcompact luxury SUV segment. I'm 5'9" for reference, and this seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8". And of course, we brought our official Car Confections ruler along so we can see how much of additional knee room we have. The answer to that is about 6 inches, so certainly a really good amount of knee space, for 2 full-size adults. And then as far as the seats themselves, they do have some reclining ability, not a ton, but do recline a little bit. And these seats, for whatever reason, do slide forward and back. That's pretty uncommon, for a vehicle in this segment. However, I guess that would make, definitely, if you had a child seat or whatever, it'd be a lot easier to reach it from the front. Now, if we fold down the central armrest, we have 2 tiny cup holders, good for maybe a Dixie cup. And then as far as features in the center section, we are going to have vents. We're lacking our own climate controls, so it is just a dual zone setup. However, we have this little pinwheel that we can kind of adjust the temperature, so it's not a specific temperature, but you can make it hotter or colder. Down below, we have 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet. No heated rear seats are offered on the Q3, and if you look over at the door trim, the door trim is going to be pretty nicely done. You have kind of it's a harder plastic, but it's not super hard at the top, and then we have leatherette on the armrest portion. There's also quite a bit of door storage as well, so it's definitely good enough for a water bottle. Walking up to the tailgate, a Power One is standard equipment. Hands-free ability comes if you choose the Premium Plus trim level. Now, as far as the space figures are concerned in the Q3, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by this as well. 24 cubic feet with the seats up right, and then 48 cubic feet if I fold the seats down. Now, as far as overall cargo volume, that's actually not half bad. It's only about 6 cubic feet less than the bigger brother Audi Q5, for instance, so really quite good for this subcompact segment. Definitely a lot better than like a Lexus UX, that's for sure. As far as the seats themselves, they do fold 40-20-40 split folding. There are not any handles to fold them from the cargo area, so I will have to go up there and do it manually. And now that I've got those seats folded down, as you can see, they do fold pretty much flat with the floor. And let's get our cargo length, width, and height figures, as we do in all of our Car Confections reviews. Overall cargo length is 69 inches behind Drew's 5'8" driving position. From behind the second row of seats, you can expect about 35 inches of length. Let's go ahead and get our cargo width. Cargo width is 44 inches wide, and then cargo height, that's going to be a little bit hard for me to get because they have the cargo cover installed here. However, just be aware, towards the end of the cargo area, that's going to be sitting at around 18 inches of height. And then if I'm estimating, I would say overall cargo height is going to be sitting at around 27 inches tall at the tallest point in the cargo area. Now, if we lift up the cargo floor, you'll surprisingly find a spare tire. Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2025 Audi Q3. In this test drive, we're going to be discussing quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now. We'll also be getting our sound level reading, but first we want to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
Bad. Nice acceleration there. Can feel all that extra power. So as we were talking about at the spec dump, kind of a big thing about the 2025 Q3 updates is the fact that you're always going to get that TFT TFSI 45 powertrain now across the entire board. That includes obviously the base model. So previously you had about 184 horsepower. Now you get 228 horsepower as standard equipment, giving you a bump of about 40 overall horsepower from that 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah, and I have to say that acceleration there just really demonstrates that for the vast majority of people, you're going to be more than happy with this powertrain selection. That is for sure. It is really actually a lot faster than even the power numbers suggest. 228 horsepower, seems like, oh, that's a decent amount, but not overwhelming. It's actually quite quick here in person. We've been behind the wheel of a lot of different Q3s, and that's one of the things that always stands out to me is just how quick this model feels, and I really like that they are giving you that as standard equipment this year. It has 251 pound-feet of torque, and that will really push you back in your seat when you start accelerating.
Right, and at the end of the day, this is a little guy, so, having this much power in a small package is more than enough. And I think that the engine sounds very quiet and refined as well, so even when you step on it pretty hard, it never gets loud or thrashy. It's all just very subdued and very smooth. And we've got a little bit of a sweeping corner to go around. And like I was saying, this is a pretty small crossover, of course, being a part of the subcompact crossover segment, and as such, Audi has made this, more agile than their other offerings. You get a nice immediate feedback when you turn the steering wheel. While it's still very light for your everyday use, it's very speedy. Good control as well. Body roll is pretty minimal. Obviously, this is not a hardcore vehicle, but like I said, just has a pleasant agility to it that reminds you it is a German vehicle.
And as we go through some bumps in the road, I do want to take a second to discuss ride quality. So like Drew said, it is a little bit more on the sporty side for the Audi SUV lineup, and that does mean that we have a little bit of a sportier suspension setup overall. So as you hit some bumps in the road, you certainly will feel quite a bit of that intrusion inside of the cabin. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're coming from a little bit of a more premium Audi product, such as the Audi Q5. Stuff like that will have better ride quality overall. I don't find this level of ride, terrible or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but I will say that it is a little on the firmer side, so especially as you're maybe looking for your wheel selections, choosing that 20-inch wheel might definitely negatively affect your ride overall. And we are going 55 miles per hour, so let's go ahead and get our sound level reading. Really good. 54.7 is what we are sitting at for our sound level reading. Going 55 miles per hour. We don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to other luxury subcompacts. We can find that in carconfections.com/sound level readings. And indeed, that does mean that this is a pretty quiet luxury subcompact. It's actually only behind the Lexus UX and BMW X1 in terms of overall sound quality. Or sound entering into the cabin, So certainly, actually a really premium experience overall, really not much of a sacrifice over some of your more premium Audi products.
Now, as far as the other element of the powertrain, we have an 8-speed automatic transmission. Nice and smooth transmission. I think it's a perfectly fine partner to this engine because it's nice and smooth, keeps it in the power band properly, and it's just kind of the transmission that does what it's supposed to do. You're not really supposed to have to think about it, and this is one of those transmissions.
Yep. Power is routed to the ground via all four wheels because you do have standard Quattro all-wheel drive. And as far as fuel economy is concerned, let's dive into that. Since we only have the one engine output this year, the 45 model, we're sitting at 20, 28, 23 miles per gallon combined. That's okay fuel economy, although I will point out that the Audi Q5 actually does get better fuel economy, so that's a little bit of an interesting thing, is that this actually gets slightly worse fuel economy than the bigger brother model. And that's going to be today's error ball, is that overall fuel economy figure. It's not fantastic, especially for a smaller SUV like this, and a lot of the other rivals do offer either a hybrid version like the UX, or the BMW X1 would certainly get better fuel economy as well.
Yeah, and as far as a slam dunk, we're going to stick with value for 2025. The price did go up a little bit, but also the fact they are giving you more things in exchange for that. So it really does remain a great value, and I think it especially shines when you compare it against, within Audi's own lineup, like the Q5.
Now let's talk pricing. So the Q3 does start at under $40,000. As I said at the very beginning, $39,800 is the base price for the 2025 model year. We also have of course, the Premium Plus package. That's $2,800 extra. We have optional paint. We have the Tech package, the Black Optic package. Pretty much, we have a fully loaded example, and we're sitting at $49,200 for this Q3. Now, if you're looking to buy an Audi Q3 or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you would do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. And it can help dealers to really start competing on price. We even have a monthly payment tool if you'd like to take advantage of that. Once again, you can find that in our video description or a pinned comment at the top of this video. But buying a vehicle is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's dive into resale and reliability. First up, let's talk about resale value. As an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for the Audi Q3's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, it'll be worth 40.5% of original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 14.4% of original MSRP. Now, it is worth noting that is definitely lower than industry average for all vehicle brands. However, it's very much on par with other German luxury brands such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and even other luxury makes like Cadillac. Just be aware that certain brands like Lexus definitely have a little higher resale value, and most mainstream vehicles also have resale values that are higher than this. And keep in mind that this is on the more affordable end of the spectrum when it comes to the Audi lineup, so that typically positively affects your resale value later on by percentage.
Now, we've also done the same for reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. This takes into account several studies on reliability and combines them in a way that gives you a more holistic picture. In this regard, Audi is rated well below the overall industry average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our reliability, resale data, or our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Buying a new vehicle is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. Additionally, Audi is protected by a 4-year 50,000-mile basic and powertrain warranty. They do not do complimentary maintenance. And guys, that's going to be all for our in-depth review of the 2025 Audi Q3. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel. I promise you won't want to miss out. Do yourself a favor. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.